So HTGM was actually a weekend hold. I got long on this flag right over here into 85, started peeling some off into 90s. Then I had a small piece left and I was like, you know what, I'll hold it over the weekend and we'll see, what happens. Get up in the morning and we're all the way up here. I see we kind of put this 5-minute flag in over here while holding this lower trend line. And at the time, I remember there was a lot of bidders stepping up. So I was like, okay, let me see if we can get that push into the open. And that's where I will sell my position. And that's, exactly what happened. So we had a nice pop in a 175s. I sell out literally right here before, we run up into this halt. So really cool play there. I believe at the time, this was another play. Where is it at? So this was HTGM, 121% gain from 85 cents on my last piece. So that was really, really nice. Next trade of the day for me would have been on FFIE, which actually would have been my first trade on the day. And this one was really nice. FFIE, we get this nice 5-minute flag into the open, kind of over VWAP and kind of over this, 35-cent area. So I start getting long right into here. I get long at 36.15. That was the only ad I had. I went full size on it. Really nice 5-minute flag. My mindset here was, okay, if this is going to work out, it's going to work out. There's no reason to try and scale into it. I got a really nice average against 35. So, we'll let it ride. We'll see what happens. So as soon as we get this candle right here, peel some off into 37s. We get this big candle right here into 395. Start peeling some off into 3955. Peeled another piece off into 40. We get this next push here into 42s. Took another small piece off at 41.8, so basically 42 cents. Then we get a nice, pullback into here. Didn't really test anything. I was looking for the pullback into 38 to see, if we flag here again. But volume was just like pouring in on this name. We get this parabolic rise all the way up here into 46s. Start peeling more off 47. Start peeling another piece off 47. We get another rise right over here into 49s. Peel another off 49. Peel more off 48.5. And then my piece before my last came off right over here at 50 cents. Then I said, okay, let's, hang on to it. And let's see if we come back into 45.5 over here, which also lines up with VWAP. And see if we get another push into highs. We flush into 45.5, and once we break 45.5, I sell my last piece, and I get filled right over here at 43 cents, I believe, on this candle into this dip. Overall, really, really great trade here. I want to see if I had, FFIE, really nice, 51% gain right off the open. Really, really proud of this one. I think I executed it well. I scaled out properly. Something I do need to work on is kind of taking my profit when we start getting towards the highs, because I remember over here right before we pulled back, I was talking with Mikey and the guys, and we were all talking about how the tape is starting to get heavy, like really, really heavy against this 54 area. I'm sure it's a daily pivot, and so I got to start noticing that and start shaving some off up here, because I feel like even though I kind of get near the top, I'm not catching the top exactly. I'm kind of, holding it and letting it come down. And then, once it finally breaks the support, that's what I'm getting out of the trade, when really I should be, scaling out on that really, really big extension. But overall, from 36 to 50s, I think it's a really, really nice win, really, really big move. So I'm very proud of that. Fast forward a little, and I noticed that this 42 pivot over here is starting to, firm up, and we're holding this previous high right here. Very low VPA into this 42 area. So I get long a little starter against 43. Not full size, just because, I already took a massive win on it. Wasn't expecting much out of it, at most, VWAP, and then see if we get the break over. So I got long against 43s right over here. And we actually get this flush candle in right here. We pull into 41s, and I stop out of my position at 41. I believe it was a 6 or 7% loser right there. Those are my two trades on this name, FFIE. One of my next trades on the day would have been CNXA. CNXA, nice mover. Let's see, what did I do on this one? So CNXA, I see that we had this nice, sharp rise up. pull back into this 32 pivot over here. And then once we come back up and reclaim over this 37 pivot, I get long right over here into 41s. I see I had ads at 38, added some more at 45. Don't know exactly why I added into 45s. Was that the right candle? Yeah, that's the right candle on this doji right over here. We had a push in a 45 right here. Maybe I was trying to sell some and I accidentally bought some, but anyways, took some off into 44. And then ultimately on this break of 37, we get flushed out and I take the loss at 35 cents. So it was kind of, I think this one was 11% loser. Fast forward a little and we get long into this wedge. You can kind of see, you know, we have this nice, I believe it was on the 10 minute. We have this nice, you know, 10-minute flag over here, also kind of wedging. And I start getting long against this one near the lower trend line. Started getting 44s, added more into 48s to kind of help momentum get going. Then when we had our first pop into 51, which was right over here, I take a small piece off at 51 just to mitigate some risk. Then, you know, we're consolidating. Didn't stop out here because, you know, I was willing to risk below VWAP. And on the tape, there were a lot, and I mean a lot of bidders. So I was pretty confident in sitting in this position. We end up getting slurped off of VWAP on the 5 minute. You could see it right over here. We kind of test VWAP, and then bam, you know, more buyers step in. Very low VPA. And then we get this push right here into 52s. Don't believe I took any off there. We pull back in, kind of creating this 5-minute flag. And on this push into 52 fives, I peel more off 53, right into the previous highs over here. And then when we get into 55s, I start peeling more off. And I had to ask out at 56, I believe. Got filled 57 on the dot, so that was really cool. It must have been an ask because, as you could see, price only hit 55.5. And then we start pulling back in. I had a small piece, and I cut that small piece break even at 46 cents. I was expecting this to continue. I was expecting this to, you know, come down to the pivot right over here and kind of, you know, hold on to it on the 1 minute. But then this flush candle kind of came in and I was like, all right, let's wait a second. Let's see if they, you know, slurp it back up as they were doing back here because there were a lot of bidders. And ultimately we broke 46s and I was like, okay, time to cut for break even. Overall green on this name. Really, really nice trade. Next trade on the day would have been CPHI. And well, CPHI is the position that I just took. I guess I'll walk you guys through that really, really quickly. So CPHI, really nice. 5-minute flag. Wow, I see we hit 28 cents. Cool. 5-minute flag into this kind of pivot over here. Got long right here. Got filled 17. Did I get filled 17.8? Got filled 17.81. Put it right over here in the Goblin Gang. You guys can see it right over here. Nice 5-minute flag, push up. Didn't take any off. Honestly don't have much size in this, so I'm kind of just gonna let it ride and see, you know, if we could start pushing higher. So that's CPHI. I literally just entered that a few minutes ago. CUEN, yeah, still riding the 8. No reason to exit. Also holding this previous high area. Some selling coming in, but overall buyers are there. So CUEN. Looking at it now, I believe this one was a loser. Oh no, this one was the break-even one. So we get this 5-minute push up here, and I believe I executed this on the 1 minute because at the time, you know, there wasn't much volume. Also broke one of my rules, which is not to trade these kind of crappier, you know, no volume names without a real setup. Anyways, we get our break over 28s, pushing at 31s. I get long on this pullback into 31. I think I slapped at high 30s, got 31. Get this nice push up into 34. I didn't take any off because, you know, I was looking for the push into this pivot over here, which would have been, I'm sorry, I was looking for the break over 35, push into like 37s and maybe even 40s. You can see we top out a lot over there, so I was looking for that push. Overall, didn't get that push, and I did cut my remaining piece at 31 cents. Didn't take any off. This was a break-even trade. Got in 31, got out 31, so there was no gain, you know, no risk on this one. Next trade on the day would have been EDBL, edible. This one was moving off of some Twitter chatter. This one got long right here on the 5-minute into 55. You can see we pulled into this 50 pivot. We started slurping. I started adding down here, but ultimately I got filled 55 on the slurp. We push up into 60. Didn't take any off. Was looking for this downtrend break. Get a nice flush into 48, and then that's when I cut my piece off. You know, this is a really big high volume stuff candle. Cut my piece off there, 48. This trade was a small loser, nothing too crazy. Still, you know, up nice on the day. Next trade, FFIE, already went through that. Then HCTI, multiple trades on this one. I believe 4 to 5 different trades. HCTI, first trade on this one was right over here on this downtrend break. Get long 40 cents right over here. Get a nice pop into 44s. Didn't take any off, was looking for the break. Another rule that I broke right here. Usually I'm supposed to be taking off my first piece into higher day, so I you know, disregarded that rule at the time. Eventually we get this flush candle, stop out into 36. At this time I'm right on the name. Fast forward a little, I start to notice we have this lower trend line, and right over here on the 5-minute is when I noticed we had this nice 5-minute flag set up. VPA was not the cleanest. I'm sure it was probably cleaner on the 10-minute. Yeah, you could see, you know, VPA kind of descending and then buyers step in. So overall, it was a little flag look. Mikey and the guys and I were on it. Started getting long against this 37 pivot. Got filled some 38.1, 38.2. Got filled some more 39.6 and got filled some more at 40 cents. So I was kind of averaging into the trade over here. And we get this first pop right over here into 44s. Take my piece off at 44. Start pulling back a little. Take more off 42s. Then that's when we get this kind of extension into 48s. Take more off 47, 48. Take more off 46, 47, 48 again. Then we get another little extension right over here into our 50 area pivot. Take more off at 50 cents exactly into the ask. I remember that level was stacked, so I wanted to peel as much as I could off in that level. We get this nice pop into the 59 area. Peel some more off into 59. Then ultimately my last piece came off on this flush candle right over here into 51 cents. We start creating this downtrend, you know, double bottom at 40, kind of this previous high area. Get our downtrend break, kind of a 5-minute flag look here. Get our push up, and then we start consolidating here, and it was kind of a flag look to me, you know, lower VPA, high volume push. Remember a lot of bidders stepping in. I was getting long against our 47 pivot over here, got long 47, 7.5, and then got long on the break of 50. Started smacking more, 0.50, 0.504, 0.502, so right up in this area over here. We get our first, you know, nice pop into our 52.5 pivot. Started peeling some off 52, peeled more off 52, peeled more off right over here into 54s. Peeled more off on this pullback into 52. I thought maybe we would, you know, break trend and flush. That's when I noticed, you know, we had this lower trend formed, and that's when I actually drew this line. And then I was like, okay, no reason to be taking profit here. Let's wait for the extension. We get our extension, start peeling more off into 57s, get another small piece off at 59 exactly. Then I'm on to my last piece here, and my last piece comes off at 52 cents right over here. Once we cracked this 52.5 in trend line, I had stopped out of my position, and the reason I did that was because this 52.5 level was very, very heavy all day. You can clearly see 52.5 acting as resistance. Put it in the Goblin Gang multiple times. I'll actually try to find the message right here. 0.525, I'm sure if I just search that. Yeah, 52.5 break key, 52.5 break key again. This was the level I was really, really looking for. You guys could see it was very, very heavy. Every time we would come up to it, we would either sell off until, you know, we finally broke over it and got that push. So that was my couple of trades on HCTI. Overall, really green on this name. Caught it a few times, so really, really nice there. HTGM, went over that one. That was the weekend hold. SXTC. This was a really, I'm so proud of the way I played this one. I'm so proud of it because there was a few people telling me like, oh, you know, there's not much volume. You don't want to get long on this. And, you know, I said, whatever, I'm going to get long on it. It's my edge. It's my setup. And I'm so glad I listened to myself. SXTC, really nice 5-minute flag. High volume push. low VPA pullback into our previous highs. You guys can see that right over here. We pull back in and we kind of, wick up. A lot of bidders in this area, which is one thing I noticed, and that is one of the main reasons why I got long. As soon as we pulled into the 73 pivot, there was just bidders slapping it. So I got long at 74. I think it was 74.18. If I'm not 74.81 right there on the 5-minute flag look. Really, really nice. Took my first piece off into high a day, which would have been 78 cents right over here. Got some filled into the ask at 78 exactly. Then we get this massive move up into 90s. I cut one piece off at 94, and then ultimately on this flush right here, I cut my remaining piece at 89 cents. This one was really, really nice. 28% win. So really, really happy with this one. Really, really nice 5-minute flag. This is like literally picture perfect, you could say. So really proud of the way I executed on this one. Last trade on the day was TNXP, and this one, I don't even remember trading this one, but it had a nice move. Let's see how I traded it. So I could see TNXP into the open. Was getting long on this 5-minute flag. You could see a nice high volume push, low VPA pullback. Got long some 58, got long more 58.3. Got long some more. Oh, that was another trade at. Oh no, I added more into this position. That's right. So we got long, into this 58 area. Get a pop into 61 right over here. Start peeling some off 61. Peeled some off 60s. Peeled some off 0.605. And then we get this sharp rise right here. And into this candle, I slapped some at 62 cents. So right about on this break over here, once I scaled some off, I slapped some. I don't know why I slapped some exactly. I think maybe, bidders. Either I was trying to get momentum going. Looking at it now, I should have just, held what I had and just wrote it up instead of taking profit off and then re-adding right there. Don't know exactly why I did that. Anyways, we get another pop into our 66 area right over here. Start peeling some off into the daily pivot. Into 65, 66. I'll go ahead and show you guys that pivot right now. You can see it right over here, kind of a small pivot. The real pivot would have been, over 62s, but I kind of spotted this little pivot over here, support into resistance, and then, sell off. So I was taking most of my profits into 65s, especially with the ad over here. This could have failed easily. Took some more into 65s, took some more into 66s. We continue higher into 68s, and on this candle right here, I take more of my position off at 0.712. Looking at these fills, where did I take my next piece off? We start consolidating. Still have a piece riding, and then right over here into our lower trend line, I noticed that we were forming this kind of area right here, kind of consolidating. We had some nice sucks, a lot of bidders coming up off of this 65 daily pivot. Could also see volume was kind of descending, and I think at the time it was a 10-minute flag look. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a nice 10-minute flag into the 65 daily pivot. Added more 65 too. Got a really, really good add on these ones, so I added more to my position over here. So I had my core here, took some off here, added more into this break through the high a day pre-market highs, and then added this 65 daily pivot again. So I'm slowly, you could say, taking some money out and putting some money back in to, capitalize as much as I can. Right over here, we get another pop into 69s. I peel some off at 68, 69. We start consolidating. We get another pop here in a 75s. Took some off at 70, 72.5, so right into this area. Didn't get the best fill on those. We get this big stuff candle here, and I can't really see if I sold here. Yeah, I did. Okay, we flush down into 66. I sell 66, re-add right here, small position 68.5. Added more into 69. Then ultimately we couldn't hold this lower trend line, and at this time I believe I was on the 5. So once we pull back into this trend line, I had stopped out just because this candle was so massive. It was on, looking at it now, it was on lower VPA than this candle, but I was thinking this might flush through and just start knifing down into 61s. And at the time I didn't really want to give back some profit on the trade. So I sold out here, re-added this candle, added a little more into this downtrend test, and then ultimately I got stopped out of my position into this flush at 62 cents. So overall, this trade was a nice green trade. And yeah, those are all my trades on the day. I'll open up some of these things, see which ones we have here. So this was one of the trades for 64%. This was that 11% loser I was talking about. Where is it? This one right here. Got long in this area, 55, cut 48s. This is 51%. This is FFIE. This is 36 to 48. I believe that's another screenshot of FFIE. Not 100% sure. That's HTGM. What else do we have? That's another one. But yeah, overall, nice green day. Didn't really hit things with as much size as I wanted to, and that's just because it's a Monday. Feel like I should have been hitting stuff with more size just because I realized, hey, momentum is here. But, I shared a lot of ideas on my Twitter. You guys should give me a follow. But yeah, with that being said, those are all my trades on the day. If you guys have any questions or anything, now would be the time.